Hello, welcome to Video Mania 2. I'm the dude manning the counter, Duncan, and today we're going to talk about a smaller budget thriller called Crawl. This came out in 2019, and it did do pretty well because it was kind of counter-programming to all the sequels and remakes and interconnected universes at the time. This movie is a great kind of old-school scare thriller. Now, there's nothing really fancy about it. I couldn't imagine being in the pitch meeting at Paramount when they brought up this idea. It's like, there's a Category 5 hurricane, and a father and daughter are trapped in a house, and there's alligators. I couldn't, that sounds like some TV movie that you just throw together really quickly. But this movie is done so well, and the execution is there, that it makes it great. Now, Kaya Scaladario plays Haley, and she's a swimmer at the University of Florida, and she's struggling a little bit, but she's on the team, and her father was her coach growing up, and they're so much alike that they kind of butt heads. But anyway, and her father's played by Barry Pepper, by the way. And so there's a Category 5 hurricane in Florida, and her sister calls her and says, I can't get a hold of Dad, and he's not doing that great anyway. And she hadn't talked to him in a while, but she called and she can't get a hold of him either. So she drives into the hurricane, to his condo to see if they can find him. She couldn't find him, and they're evacuating the town, so she goes around the cops and continues to go to their old house where they grew up, even though her parents are divorced now. And she, eventually discovers him quite injured. And, so she wants to get him out of there, but there's one problem. The waters are rising in the crawl space of the house, and there's alligators in there. So they have to become very resourceful. And Haley, this is a great character. She's very flawed. She doesn't pick up everything she does. She kind of doubts herself, and she's in an extraordinary situation, and has to get resourceful to get her injured dad out and deal with multiple alligators and rising waters. So, and her Jeep eventually washes away too because of the rising water. So this takes a lot of resourcefulness, and the tension builds, and she has to stay away from the alligators, and all she's got is a flashlight and, her phone, which she loses from time to time, and has to try to find a way to regain it. And so they have to figure out a way to get to a boat or some way to signal for help to get her injured dad out of there. But when you have multiple alligators, it gets quite treacherous. And this movie's only 87 minutes long, but everything is filled out well. And in between bits of tension, Barry Pepper and Kaya Scaladario, they play off each other very well, and they learn why they're kind of estranged, or what their issues are, and you really care about these characters. These are great characters, and so you learn about her, and so she has to fight through this. And the production design is great. There is some CGI for the background, and the hurricane, and some the gators, obvious stuff, but it's really good. It's not overdone. It's just out front about what it is. It's like two people trapped in rising waters in their crawl space during a Category 5 hurricane, and they have to deal with alligators. And when you, like I said, if somebody's in pitch meeting, no. But this thing is executed so well. It keeps the suspense going, and the performances are so good that you really get invested into this story, and you're pulling for them, and just obstacle after obstacle, you wonder how they're going to get through it, but they do. And so this is what I always talk about with Hollywood. You don't need big budget or huge name actors. You got great performances, great characters, and a simple premise, and it was executed so well, and it just works. Like, when I first heard about it, I'm like, it sounds stupid, but when I was working at the theater, we were running it as counter program kind of to the Lion King remake, and people were coming out like, this thing's amazing. So I finally broke down and watched it one night. I'm glad I did. So, have you seen it? What do you think about it? Are you interested? Let me know in the comments. And if you like older movies or movies that fell under the radar, please consider liking and subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, let me know what you think about Crawl. Are you interested in checking it out? And take care. Till next time.